Is this a redemption story for you as well?
I'm on a journey.
Today, we are joined by two absolute legends of the movie world, right? Both of them playing key roles in the brand new film, The Whale, which obviously is in cinemas right now. Please give it up for Darren Aronofsky and, of course, Brendan Fraser.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Guys,
Good morning.
it's so good to have you two in. Thank you so much. Can I just say, both of you, obviously, Darren, I'm a massive fan of your work.
Thank you very much.
But Brendan, I have to say, like, as someone my age, you are my childhood. So, firstly, before we start this interview, thank you so much for the movies that over the years that have made me smile as a child.
That makes my heart throb with happiness. Thank you for saying that.
No, I really
Roman.
mean it.
I totally
nice.
agree, and I think I can speak for all of us. We were so excited when we heard that we'd be meeting you guys today. So thank you so much for giving your time. And as Rose says, you're a legend, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for the mummy. Thank you for George of the Jungle.
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly.
We are buzzing.
As Rose says, you're an absolute legend. You won the Critics' Choice Award for the best actor for this movie, and you got this 6-minute standing ovation. Brendan, my question to you is, do you think 6 minutes is slightly too long for a standing ovation?
Those hands probably might have hurt after 4 minutes, 3 minutes. You know what? I think it might depend on who's holding the stopwatch when it comes to timing how long these ovations.
When you're there and it's being clapped, and Darren, this goes for you as well, because obviously people are clapping your movie and obviously people are clapping your performance. At what minute does it become awkward?
I find it right away awkward. I have a hard time. You know.
I was trying to get out the door.
Yeah.
And Darren's like, no, get back, take a bow.
Oh, no.
But the stranger one was the London one at the BFI.
Yeah.
To get a standing ovation in London is, you guys just don't stand up for anyone. So
it's
we
true.
were really touched.
We're a
and-
tough crowd over here, aren't we?
Exactly.
That was coming from the Brits. They're like, we
Yeah.
don't do this.
Yeah.
You gotta
No, we
understand.
don't. We don't. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you go to other countries, they clap if a plane lands
Exactly.
safely, stuff like that.
Exactly.
Anyone tries to clap on a plane
Easily
in the UK.
impressed.
Yeah, everyone's like, absolutely not.
No.
But Darren, I want to chat to you about the film, because obviously the film, taking part in one apartment. Does that make it quite tough as a director to tell a story?
Yeah, it was a great challenge, but it was also an exciting one. It returned me to the basis of filmmaking, which is where to place the camera to help tell the story. Luckily, the text was so strong and the performances were so strong that I do believe that people don't even really notice that they're in one place. They're really following the story and really engaged.
And because this film's based on the stage play, which clearly would have taken place in one room,
Yeah.
it translates very well to the screen.
Exactly. But Darren, it's something that, as I said to you earlier, I am a massive fan of your work.
Thank you.
Now, there seems to be like quite a big theme with a lot of your work as well, because you've got like Requiem for a Dream, which is obviously, you're dealing with addiction and things like that. Then you've got one of my favorite films of all time, which is The Wrestler. Now, I kind of feel like The Wrestler and The Whale, they share that thing of, relationships with daughters. You're kind of dealing with that type of, there's a mental health side to it as well. I mean, what is it that draws you into those characters?
It's hard to say. It really is a feeling inside that that keeps bringing me back to the same material, and I don't know what it is. You'd have to ask my therapist, probably.
I have an idea about it. It's about redemption.
Yeah.
This is a story about love and redemption.
What are you trying to say about me, Brendan?
That you're doing everything you should be doing. It's working.
What do I need?
No, but it's a tough watch actually at times, and you're sort of holding back the tears almost from the very start. That's how I felt. You feel so. Without sounding awful, you feel sorry for the character. And Brendan, you are unrecognisable in this movie. And I presume that it isn't a CGI thing, that there's a huge amount of costume and time that goes into that character. Was it hard being in that character?
Appropriately so. It should be cumbersome. The makeup is prosthetic and exacting. It's 3D technology, 3D printing technology that's being pioneered right now by Adrian Moreau. For that reason, that you shouldn't see the seams or the dotted lines in anywhere on the actor. And this is not a CGI creation, by the way. With the exception of maybe a light curative on a piece
very
of
little
fabric or something.
Yes,
very
yeah.
But apart from that, no, it's an actor in costume.
How did you? Oh, well, there's so many questions.
It was
How
a
will I
good
always-
Yeah.
It was just to brag about his patience. It was 4 hours in, 1 hour out every day. So he was the hardest working person on the set every day.
Apart from Adrian Moreau, who was there before and after.
Did you get a little bit too used to it at points where you're like,
Interesting you should ask, because I became, I guess, acclimatized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it came off, I felt differently, almost like a sense of vertigo. You know,
Really?
if you step off a boat onto a dock, you're kind of emotional like that. That's how my body felt. And what that, I think, cued me into was it takes an incredibly strong person to inhabit that body
yeah.
physically. And I can appreciate the emotional aspect of it, too, for having done the research that we did with the Obesity Action Coalition, who are an advocacy group who gave us excellent notes and guidance and put me in touch with people whose lives have been that existence or their family members. And they were really a valuable source for us to tell this as accurately as possible.
That's a lot to deal with as a subject matter. Does that bleed into your home life? How
I
is
was
it?
just trying
How
to get
is
some
it?
sleep, to tell you
Yeah.
the truth.
But I do think it affects the performance. Like, if you think, we did shoot this in order, and the kind of great big ending, which I won't sort of give away, I think a lot of that affected the emotion. Was what you had to overcome to do the movie is ended up on the screen in a lot of ways.
I'll say it was a lived experience.
Yeah. Now, look, what some of the obviously is a massive part of this film as well. Sadie Sink, who plays Ellie in it, right? Now, a lot of people, she obviously had a huge year with the running up that hill scene in Stranger Things. But she had something to say on a show recently about the fact that you two meeting and working on this project together. I'm just going to play you this clip. Take a listen, right?
Were you familiar with Brendan outside this film before you started working on it?
No, I wasn't. I hadn't seen a single one of his films.
I mean, how was it working with her?
Perfect.
Why was that? Why is that?
Because she comes with an open, a clean slate.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any fanboy stuff going.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so sorry, but I had to
We
say
weren't
it.
acting together. It's okay.
Yeah. Do you find that tough then? Like, if you were to work with someone that is wearing your previous work, or
Look, I deeply admired people I've worked. I deeply admire Ian McKellen. I worked with Ian McKellen. You learn ultimately, actors are just actors, they're people, and that's part of it. But that Sadie is so fresh and new is the point to this, and her talent precedes her age clearly. Yeah. She's a wonderkind, really.
Yeah.
Really. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah,
Watch more
exactly.
about her.
Yeah, she has such a powerful performance, and like you say, way above her age. You know, she
Way beyond.
phenomenal. The movie also touches on sort of the kindness of strangers and this ability of humans, as you said, Darren, in the way you've scripted, well, the way you've interpreted this script is that we have an inability to not be kind.
Yeah.
It's something within us.
Yeah.
Have you, in your life, either of you, had a moment where you've had that kindness from a stranger?
Oh, it's a great question.
Sure. I mean, we all have, haven't we? When someone's helpful to you in a public place and you'll never see them again. I can remember being a little kid and lost, and someone took me by the hand. And, as an adult, you'd see that now, and you'd do the same thing for any little kids, because it's empathy. It's what you must do. But I think that this film is ultimately about empathy and how we care for one another, and if or not we can save one another, and how much we must try, in spite of how difficult that may be.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
as well. Brendan, you've been very open about some tough times that you've been through over the past years. And was there anyone in particular that when you were kind of in that kind of tougher place that you could look at and go, do you know what, that person really helped me. They were kind to me.
I'm gonna go with my kids. They didn't even know it.
Yeah.
By virtue of them existing, it just gave everyone a reason. It gave me the fuel in my heart to know how much it means to love that deeply, and that informs your whole purpose for being and the reason why you work, and how much you'll invest in the work you want to do, and what that means to you to do that. And to think that Charlie's a guy who's lost that connection with his daughter just breaks my heart, because I couldn't imagine that with my own children. So, yeah. I kept it close to home.
Yeah.
I love
100%.
seeing you say that, because, as a father myself, I've got 2 kids, and it really changed how I view my life and my job, and it changed the focus of both those things in such a massive way. I can see you're getting really emotional when we're talking about kids, was it the same for you? Did it give you a different focus on your job as an actor?
I'm hopeful. I mean, it gives you a reason and a context. You know, well, this is the reason why I'm chasing myself around so hard all the time. It makes it worth it. And on top of it, you think, is that all you got? Come on, give me your worst. I can take more.
I was lucky to witness backstage right after a screening of the film, one of his sons just coming up to him and giving him the craziest hug. It was this really beautiful moment, and I don't know, I got to enjoy that love for a second.
Thanks, Dave.
Do your kids love your past movies as much as maybe?
No, they don't.
George of the Jungle. Like, I mean,
Here I am just waxing poetic about being a dad, and here I am as a dad walking around 3 days scruffing my underpants, pointing at the TV screen, going, "Look, Daddy's the mummy." And they're like, "So what? Put on Power Rangers. We don't care."
But Darren, you know, for you, as a director, it must be, you know, you have that vision in your head, but you've worked with, you know, actors, as I mentioned before, the you know, Jared Leto, someone like Mickey Rourke, and obviously Brendan now.
Yeah.
It's how do you get them to tap into that personal thing? You know what I mean? Like, people on the outside would maybe call it method acting, like it kind of feels like that. But how do you get them to get those real emotions?
I mean, it starts with the characters, and I think people are always like, "Oh, are you pushing them? Are you pulling them?" It's really just offering them, and then finding the right actor at the right time in their life who wants to do the work. And so it's really about lining that up.
Yeah, and Brendan, I have to say, like, you know, I mentioned it first time I come in here, I am a fanboy of yours. I am someone that you brought so much happiness to me, right? And there is something that we're very up on in this show, and it is men's mental health is a big thing that we talk about on our show. And I think what was so great is even just seeing those moments where people are giving you standing ovations and you're up there and you're so graceful about it. It is, your story in itself is inspiring. And I think that for someone like yourself, I think without you knowing, you've become a massive inspiration to so many people out there. And I truly mean that. I think there's a lot of people that have been in a dark place and are looking at people like yourself and going, "Do you know what? I can turn this around. I can be that guy again."
At least get to your feet and try.
I mean, what would you say to those people?
That very thing. You must try. Charlie can't live on his couch any longer. He tried it, it didn't work. He can't even get to his feet when we meet him on screen for the obvious reason that it's like doing an Olympic deadlift for him, and he might have a cardiac event at the same time. But because he's able to go on this journey of redemption with his daughter, and finally he gets her to read from her essay, it's almost like a magic spell is broken, and he can get to his feet and take steps towards the light. And I took great heart in that. And I think it's a coincidence, but also a happy one, because I felt that way too.
I was going to say, and that's kind of what, you know, I want to ask about that sense of redemption. Is this a redemption story for you as well?
I'm on a journey. I just find myself with your good selves here.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
On the radio, but so far it's been exciting. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to whatever comes next. And it was Herman Melville, and let me put my glasses on for this bit.
There we go.
who once wrote in 1851, "I know not all that may be coming, but come what will, I will go to it laughing."
Yeah.
That's from Moby Dick.
Yeah.
I've been living by those words for the last 6 months.
Oh,
Amazing.
I love that.
Amazing.
I really think this will have changed so many people's mornings hearing this. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so
100%.
much, both of you, for sharing
you.
everything and sharing the emotion.
Can
and
I
it comes
also
across in the
say
film.
that my work with the Obesity Action Coalition, who are an online advocacy group for tens of thousands of members, and their mission is to end the bias against those who carry weight in media, culture, and how we even refer to the issues, are of the firm belief that this character, Charlie in The Whale, is going to save someone's life,
Yeah.
if not many.
Yeah.
And for that,
Yeah.
I don't need an award.
It's also, the film will bring people together to have an emotional response, which is something we haven't had in theaters for a long time.
Yeah.
Where people can talk about how much they cried together.
I
That's
love
so
that.
true. It does make you watch it and you think, I need to reach out to a family member. It's got that impact.
That used to be one of the great things about movies. We've lost that, and it's one of those great feelings.
Can I ask one final question? And Darren, this is for you. Why Brendan?
Well, if this interview hasn't revealed, then I don't have much to add. But look, as a filmmaker, you know, if you think of if we were painters and actors are different colors, there's been a color missing from the palette for a long time, and I think a lot of filmmakers are super excited because there isn't a star like Brendan that's been around for a long time, and there's going to be so many exciting roles for him in the future. Yeah, and audiences are just going to just have a lot of new treats. It's like kind of a new candy bar showed up at the local candy shop, you know.
I love that. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Honestly, as a fanboy and as also, you know, someone who loves these types of conversations because they're real conversations, and we wanted to do that on the show today. Great. Normally, we're very fun. We get out there, we play games, but this was
real talk, right?
This was a real conversation that we wanted to have. So thank you
doing
so
good
much.
work, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For Brendan and Darren, everyone.
Yes, thank you.